Okay. Excelente connection. Oh, there we go. Hey, Bridget. Let me pop this chat out. Hello. I guess it is a bit late, huh? Oh, you hear that sax? You hear that sexy sax? Let me share this out with the Twitterverse, guys. Late as fuck, I know. I'm so sorry for being late. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry for being late. Being late for what? I'm not really sure. All I know is that I'm fucking late. I'm so sorry for being late to the arbitrary time that we set. Probably could have did it any other time. Now, at this particular time, I'm very late. I'm very, very late. I'm so late. Now I bet you're wondering, isn't being late kind of like being early for something else? No, it's not. It's fucking not. You're full of shit. You're lying to yourself. Okay. Sounds like Flight of the Conchords. That's actually what I was like going for, so it's pretty funny. Oh, what the fuck is wrong with me? I don't know. Michaela Miller with the 279 beaver bucks, as we have changed the term up around here a little bit. Though I do like the soaking wet maple syrup dollars still just as much. Guys, should I share this out with InstaSlam? Do they even care over there? Anybody follow me on InstaSlam? You know what I totally forgot to do is start up the clock timer, which is kind of a naughty thing to do. All right, so it's currently 23:18, which is 11:18 p.m. here. I'll set it to 35. There we go. Cool. Now you can see the timer counting down for how long we shall chillax before we get into reading some babysitter stories. You don't use IG to check in with me. It's fair. Fearsome, it was an extremely depressing day. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope we can elate your spirits. Yeah, is Alex here? Where's our assistant to the regional moderator at? 4:20 a.m. Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, I think you're going to have to take a look at this. Nannies, just join. All you hear is naughty. That's all we are here. This is a naughty cult. The cult of naughty. I mean, what a nice cult, though. If at any time you're not really down with the cult practices, you can just unplug or go take a poop in the toilet at your own leisure. Don't read stories, just sing. I am curious, like, how the mic registers, like, sort of frequencies that are terrible, such as my singing, in case it, like, scritchies or scratchies at all. What's the song in the background? Shit. Well, it's part of Warm Summer Nights instrumentals. It's on YouTube, but I got it here playing, and I don't know if they have the songs listed, though I would like them to. This song is cool, though. I love like hip hop stuff with good samples. Like, I really love like sort of science fiction type hip trip hop stuff that has like really cool like sci-fi samples. They just make me They tickle my cerebellum. Maya B with a 3 says, how's it going? It's going great, Maya. Thank you. Good to see ya. Hope you don't have to go to bed too late. Spadey Daddy says, nasty crew. We're all sorts of nasty. Alright, you know what? I'm going to do it real quick. I'm going to send it out to the InstaSlam crowd. Everybody's got to say something funny for InstaSlam so they can see you. Let me switch off of Horny Computer for 10 seconds, which is my meme page that you should be following, and if you aren't, that's totally fine because it's sort of a waste of time unless you love hilarious jokes. Alright, ready? Smile. There it goes. What do we got on here? Oh yeah, we got a lot of nice, beautiful things here. I gotta go to Twitter just to save the link. It's always a convoluted process here. Jarrett, what's going on? What's up, Brittany? Go back to Horny Computer. You want some more Horny Computer posts? Holy shit. Ricky Berwick. Such a funny dude, and he's got like a video of him like doing a Minecraft sleepover. What the fuck? I don't know if you guys know who Mickey is. Hey, Anna M with the 15 bucks says, woke up feeling off today. Thank you for giving me something good to end the night with. You're welcome, Anna. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the 15. That's very, very generous. I appreciate that. Just gotta thank you. Stroll over to Twitter. Over here on Twitter, you can gather links. You can click on a link, maybe. Anybody want to click on a link? Anybody ever get excited about clicking on links? You never know where they'll take you. It's like an adventure. Live. We're live. Live from my living room. Well, kind of, I guess. Hopefully they get the idea to swipe up. I assume that's pretty much pounded into people's brains from this point on when they see a link. Oh my goodness, Jessica, thank you for the 20. Buckaroo says, yay, first night back to work. Thought I was going to miss some live, so happy I didn't. Yeah, we're kind of connected on a bit of a psychic frequency here. I knew you were going to work. I'm like, well, I guess it's time to stream. Perhaps it's time to stream. Hey, there's Hannah. Hello, Hannah. Welcome. Velkommen. Velkommen. Oh, wait, did I miss... You can click my link, BB. Give us an OnlyFans. Hey, we're getting there. We're working on it. When I say we, I mean me and my mouth. Dude, no. Holy shit. Trending in... Well, first off, I saw Jenna Marbles on Twitter. It says, Jenna Marbles addresses past problematic videos and announces she will move on, quote unquote, from her YouTube channel. Whatever. I wonder what kind of problematic things... Oh my god. And then I said, well, the one thing below it that got me sad was it said, rest in peace, Simon Cowell. And then I click on it and it says, he's not dead, he just looks like this. Which is a little bit scary. Like it's like Simon Cowell's imposter wearing his face mask, but like his skin is a face mask. I was very terrified for a second that we lost my favorite... Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. Almost lost my favorite British musical critiquer. The reason I'm laughing so hard because there's a video on Twitter right now. It says, rest in peace, Simon, we'll never forget you for this video. And it's like, he just got out of like, what the fuck? He just got out of the shower or something. He has like a whole team like out of a bathtub. And he's got like a whole team like drying him up with hair dryers and all these types of things, like primming and prepping his like butt hair and then putting him into like a corset. Oh my god. R. Let's Read said a bad word. Oh my god. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell Twitter. Smoochum with the 10 Bruckner says, just had a friends with benefits tell me they don't even want to be friends anymore after they had a successful date tonight. I feel used. Do you have any friend breakup stories? Oh. Wait. Oh. I'm sorry about that. I guess... Oh, they don't even want to be friends. Well, I guess, yeah, they might be kind of afraid. Though I do apologize. I have to go through that. Obviously, that does suck a lot of bungholes. But perhaps, yeah, with the successful date, and then maybe there's a sense of insecurity that they feel there, where they're like placing all of their eggs in the basket of this person. Or maybe that person's basket has got a hold of their eggs. I don't know, one of the two. And maybe they're just like afraid that that person might feel very closed-minded to your, intimidated by your presence in some fashion, you know what I mean? So it's, Killer Shark, why is all of your comments get blacked out? But it's like too much of a pain in the ass for me to click show. Something about, I found my pencil. But yeah, that's tough. I'm sorry about that. And Carrie, with the 10, Beaver Buckaroony says, "Hi Joel, have a freaking awesome Canadian song sure you'll love. Only thing I'm on is Facebook, Carrie Lang." Oh, to send me the song. Well, Facebook's weird because, like, I don't really get on Facebook anymore. And I don't really get on, like, Facebook as far as, like, even my, like, page, you know what I mean? For sending a song. But you can, if you have Twitter, or maybe you know somebody that has Twitter, they can just, like, at me or something like that. That would probably be preferable because Twitter allows, like, sharing of links and stuff like that. But I don't really do the whole, like, Facebook thing really anymore. Do I need a new... Yeah, everybody's signing up to be the new Friends with Benefits. I'm here to fill my role. I'm here to do my duty. Oh, you don't want him back? Yeah, fuck him, dude. Fuck him. Fuck that guy. Fuck books. Books are for pussies. Hit the gym. I, like, for a day, like, kept saying that saying over and over again. I'm just gonna retweet the Simon Cowell video so you guys can see what I'm looking at, because it's so fucking funny. Holy shit. Just like him getting, like, prepped by an entire team of, like, people in, like, spick and span white, outfits, and they're just this is like every effort they're going through to keep him clean is so goddamn funny. I gotta close out of Twitter. It's turning me into a monster. Do you know Ohm Record, Joel? Have you seen the Twitter drama with Sat? Crazy stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, I honestly just catch it on the hashtags, you know what I mean? Like, and then I just, like, giggle at it, and I'm thinking, well, that's fucking pointless, you know what I mean? But hey, I'm always down for a little more drama in my life. The world's not scary enough. I need to create problems once in a while for me to look into. So send it my way, baby. Bridget Jones with the 5 says, "Ants bit my feet and now they itch. Any spoopy ant stories?" Oh my god. Imagine you fell asleep on, an ant hill with a bunch of, like, honey in your butthole, and you're naked. Now that would be the best alarm clock you could have ever imagined. WTF2542 with the 5 says, "Joel, have you ever thought about doing narration with other YouTubes? Like starting a new channel, or like, do you mean like collaborations or starting a new channel?" Hey, Lila, welcome. Yes, please do join and chat with me on Discord anytime you like. I feel like, honestly, I always say, like, join the Discord, then I get on there and I'm, like, sitting idly for an hour with nobody joining. Hello, Fry. What's up? Is that a fantasy? We can discuss. Let's discuss the ant fantasy. Yippee, 420 girl, welcome. 0 to 60 real quick. Yeah. I like to just, like, decelerate and then accelerate out of nowhere and just, like, make sure whoever's with me is not wearing a seatbelt. And if you aren't, you better put yours on right now, because this stream's about to fly. We're about to breeze past these YouTube cops. Thankfully, YouTube streaming has a speed limit of about 900 miles an hour, so I think we should be good. Speaking of ant holes, my sister-in-law's friend said his brother dead ass fucked an ant hill, and he said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Oh, Jesus. That's a bit much. That's a bit much, don't you think? Bit strange, isn't it? Oi. What's all this now? Your sausage and eggs in the freaking anthill? Jarrett. Is it Piepgrass? I don't know how to pronounce it, but Jarrett, thank you for the 5. It says, so let's take a bath, senpai, in your best... say, let's take a bath, senpai, in your best hentai... Okay, hentai voice. Am I the deep, tentacled monster, or am I... Oh well. Let's take a bath, senpai. Let's take a bath, senpai. I don't know how to do a fucking hentai voice. There was some people on our Discord stream that took some, took some crazy baths, but no, took some amazing, did some amazing hentai and just anime girl, like, weeaboo voices. I was very impressed. It's me, girl Joel. Ooh, oh well. My voice never made it past the age of 10. Venus Flytrap with the 10 says, "Hi Joel, I'm so happy there's a stream tonight. It's a wonderful birthday present." Venus, another June baby in the womb, is here to join the fun. Venus, happy birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Venus Flytrap. Thank you again for the 10. And Ron, what's up? Thank you for the 10. Says, "Hey Joel, hope you're well. I've been thinking about submitting a Ouija board story of mine. Do you think you'll be narrating paranormal stories anytime soon? Thanks for doing what you do." You know, I actually will. You should totally submit it to the subreddit, reddit.com/r/letsreadofficial for anybody wondering, or letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com. And, you know, the next time we do paranormal, it's actually going to be with Slapped Ham, which I got in contact with him again. We're chatting about that. Currently in the process of kind of collecting a series of paranormal narrations, paranormal stories. So it's going to be litty titty when we finally get it going. So yeah, definitely send it in. I love Ouija board stories. Luigi boards. Big old 24. Hell yeah. Welcome to Things Don't Change from here on out. Other than, you know, things getting droopy. Slap time. Welcome back to Slap My Hams. Hashtag Joel Smash, like Hulk Smash. Only you're willing to be the Smashee. Does the Hulk ever have a Smashee, or is it just really anything in his wake? Lils with a 5. It says, ha ha ha, hee hee hee. Steve, your birthday is December 21st. No pool parties for me growing up. Yeah, isn't that the winter solstice? Isn't that not the winter solstice? Let's ride a beehive. Oh my god. Oh, Nesbitt, it was your birthday. Nice.
Hey, listen.
Oh my goodness. Holy hell. Fred D with what's the PHP again? Is that the Philip? All right, let me look. First off, let me read your message. First off, thank you so damn much. First off, thank you so much. But it's like I'm always like wildly confused when I see like another currency thrown at me. So it's, my significant other might lose their job at a broadcasting corp because our president in the Philippines is a giant crybaby. It's a lot. Your stories and voice helped so much in dealing with the stress tonight. Thank you, Joel. Hey, thank you, Fred. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry to hear about that. I really hope that that doesn't come to that, and I hope that you guys are able to figure out what's going on, if that does kind of come to fruition. But seriously, thank you so much for your generosity. I'm actually like, I don't even know like what to trade. Okay, PHP 1250 to USD 25. Okay, yes, $25. Thank you. No, it's, I just had to like translate because like sometimes it shows up in chat and people are like, "Holy shit, he just got $1,200 donated." But still, incredibly gracious for your 25. And we got actually quite a few Filipino individuals in the chat, which is pretty wild. I always feel like that's a pretty frequent, source of fan base. So I'm sure I know Fry probably speaks some Tagalog in here. Thank you again. And Valerie has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the Buttersock Cult. Everybody say hello to Valerie. Hello, hello. Thank you. And Crystal with the 2 says it's been a hello week, but how are you? I am doing good. We're almost at 400 people here. Guys, click like if you haven't already. We're going to be kicking off 10 big babysitter stories. Not sure why these excite me so much, but you guys are about to get baby sat on, okay? And Carrie with the 2 beaver bucks has tried getting on Discord, no luck. Any mods here like that can link the Discord or something of that nature? Emily says, I woke up and felt someone spooning me from behind. I heard whispering and felt them running fingers in my hair. I was home alone. I got the nerve to move and look. There was nothing there. Holy shit, that is creepy as hell. Yeah, a lot of the paranormal stuff, like when they like hit hard, especially paranormal stuff that you experience, is just fucking creepy as hell. Tagalegs. I'm gonna be running with my Tagalegs. The blood sacrifices at midnight. Yes, we are nearing. We are nearing and daring. Well, guys, we already burned through that first 20 minutes like nothing, which is wild. So first off, guys, thank you so much for your generosity and support of the stream right out the gate. I'm so happy I can continue to stream for you guys and just have this opportunity to do so. And hope you enjoyed the down-tempo stuff because we're going to be switching it up to some spooky dookies. Some spooky shit from Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse. Go subscribe to him if you haven't already. He's an amazing, prolific, dark ambient artist. And this is actually ending at the perfect time. EJ with the 2 Aussie bucks says Joel loves his babysitter and stepsister stories. Yeah, Stepsisters is next. You better keep your eye out because I soon will be asking, what are you doing? What are you doing, stepsister? Oh, you're doing the dishes? Don't get stuck or I'll have to help. Alright guys, switching over to our reading screen here. Done by the amazing Robin Mikalsen. Not sure if he's in the chat tonight. I don't think any mods are in the chat tonight, so everybody's just go crazy, go wild.
Listen.
Ron with the 2 says, you can spooky my dookie. Oh, shit. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Mm-hmm. Carl, you can use Reddit or email. Yes, yes. Carl. Yes, Carl. Yes, Carl. Robin, we miss you. Robin, we miss you. Anarchy, shit. Alright guys, like I said, send a story up to reddit.com/r/letsreadofficial or to email at letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com. That's all in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, Let's Read Creepy, or Instagram, letsread.official, or my meme page where you can really get a look into the depravity of my brain and all the jokes that I like that you probably will too, on Horny Computer on Instagram. So now I've got all that bullshit out of the way. Why don't we get right into the stories? Oh, babysitting's your actual job. Well, prepare to regret that decision here very, very soon. So, For the longest time in my teenage years, I earned a few bucks a week by doing babysitting work. It always made me giggle at how there are so many urban legends based around babysitting. The serial killer that stalks the unwitting teen, the call coming from inside the house, pretty much every Halloween movie in some manner that seems to present babysitting and... Whoops. Alright. Honestly, nobody's really kept track of mistakes for a while, but it's all good. If you do decide to, it's like a little bit of a drinking game for some. Pretty much every Halloween movie in some manner that seems to present babysitting as the vocation of those with a death wish, when in reality, the only thing likely to kill you is the boredom. Sure, you get a bratty kid and it makes an evening a little more challenging, but you get a good one, and you're basically sat on the couch for hours on end, watching tedious cable TV shows and counting the minutes until the parents get home. Saying that, I did babysit for one family that ended in a frankly terrifying experience that ended up in me never, ever sitting for them ever again. It only happened once, but sometimes once is enough. So I arrive at this big old house a few blocks away from my parents' house at around 6:30 one Friday evening. The parents of the kid seem incredibly charming, and the kid is one of the more adorable little tykes that I've had the good fortune of minding. We go over a brief list of rules, what the kid is and isn't allowed to eat, how much I'll be paid, and how long I'll be sitting for, and that sort of thing. Then the parents say that they need babysitting. Emily, with the 2, says, please sing Bridget Happy Birthday. Oh, wait. What day is it, Bridget? Do we sing at midnight? Should we wait till midnight? In 17 minutes? Okay, 18, yeah. We'll sing at midnight, please remind me. And, I shall sing you a song, Mr. Piano Man, for your birthday. Then the parents head out to whatever fancy party that they had been planning on tending. All goes well for a little while. The kid wouldn't eat their carrots. What the fuck? All goes well for a little while. The kid wouldn't eat their carrots, but when I pretended that they were delicious by taking little bites myself, they soon broke into a smile and pretty much demolished the little bowl of hummus that we were sharing. With the kid fed, I gave her a bath, tucked her into bed, and that's that. It was honestly one of the easier jobs I'd had, right up until the sun started to go down. So once the kid's asleep, I head downstairs to order a pizza on the parents' dollar. Like I said, they were perfectly nice and polite when we first met, and it's not often a job comes with free food. Pizza arrives pretty quickly, and I even tipped the delivery guy a few dollars just to say thank you for being so fast. He's literally counting out the change in dollar bills when his head snaps to the side, like he's looking into the bushes at the side of the house. I ask him if everything is okay, peering out from the door to see what he's looking at. But there's nothing, just dark bushes. He says something along the lines of, sorry, guess I'm just tired. Mind's playing tricks on me. He laughs awkwardly, then walks back to his car while thanking me again for the tip. I didn't think anything of it. I mean, it was probably just a cat or something, right? So we got back inside to eat, have a full-on carb overload, and end up just lying there on the couch watching TLC. There were these big bay windows in the family's TV room, and I had drawn the curtains earlier to block out the glare on the TV. Only I hadn't drawn them all the way, and there was a light crack, sorry. Let me let my cat in, he's going in fucking sane, man. 1 second, sorry. I swear, he'll run away, probably. Just to troll me. I want to build like a cat door, but I feel like he literally runs away. Like he just meows and meows, let me in, oh my god, there's a monster out here. And then I go to let him in, and then he just, like, sprints away. It's like, yep, that's... Sounds about cat-like. Oh, now he's in. See, like, he wants me... He's like, I want you to give me the option to come in. I don't want you to let me in. That's pretty much it. Now he's in here. And I left the door cracked. Darling boy. Darling boy. Okay. Sorry about that. Bridget Jones with a 5 says, is it Purdeep or Pradeep? Is he going to sing to me? He could. We could bring him up. He's got a hefty set of lungs. It is Purdeep, how you spelled it in the first part. Purrdeep. He's, it was kind of like like I said, I think I may have told this story before, but we watched this show called The Pickup Artist, and there was which is a really funny show if you guys have never watched it. It's like a 2006 show or something, and just about like these super fucking weirdos teaching like super dorks like how to pick up girls and stuff, and it's really funny. And like one of the characters in the show was this just kind of like tepid Indian dude named Pradeep, and he was so funny, and my roommate described him as like a tepid wimp. And then it was kind of like the exact sort of temperament that Pradeep has, being just kind of like a very relaxed sort of wimp character. So we went along with that name, but then I didn't realize that at the time I thought that they had already said like the pun that goes along with it. So whenever I was the one taking him to the vet, I just wrote down a thing Purdeep because that's what I thought I heard them say, and I guess I just created it in my mind. But yeah, that's just sort of stuck since. Which is funny. And Crystal with the 2 says, Purdeep. He's a pretty fantastic little fella. How about a shout out for Cassandra Smith, please? I will send you a nice Christmas card. That would be lovely. Thank you, Cassandra Smith. Shout out to you. How do you pick up a girl? The candy thing's just not right. Usually I just grab them by the hair, pull them into your cave. Pretty easy stuff. Should train. I mean, it's just evolution, really. It's how we've been trained. Only I hadn't drawn them all the way, and there was a slight crack in the curtains that allowed me to see out into the dark front yard. At one point, my eyes were drawn to this little crack, and I could swear I saw a dark shape where streetlights were previously visible. I stood up, dude, why am I think I talked too much and used up the lube on my lips, and now I'm getting caught. Candy works for you, that's good. Right into the van. There was a funny meme that I shared on Horny Computer where it's like from the POV of the person kidnapped, and they go to the front of the van, and they're like, excuse me, sir, and he like kind of turns, and he just looks like this disgusting man. He's like, where's the free candy? And it just ends there. Only I hadn't drawn them all the way, and there was a slight crack in the curtains that allowed me to see into the dark front yard. At one point, my eyes were drawn to this little crack, and I could swear I saw a dark shape where streetlights were previously visible. I sit up, focusing my eyes on the shape and wondering if it were my mind playing tricks on me this time, when it moved. I wasn't going nuts. I had been looking at someone or something who was in turn looking at me through the big old windows. That's about when I started to freak out. I had been super chilled all evening, but now I was getting that distinctly paranoid feeling like someone was watching me, someone who didn't exactly have the best of intentions. I run around the house, making sure all the doors and windows are locked as a precaution, all before keeping their cordless phone as close as possible so that, if it came to it, I could call the cops. I was sure I had seen someone, but the chances of them just vacating the area at the sight of flashing lights then returning later could be a huge possibility, and a terrifying one at that. So I decided to shoot my shot only when it would be absolutely necessary. Appearing to waste police time would not be doing me any favors. I suppose I'm just trying to explain why I didn't call the cops right away. I've had friends of mine say that they have just called 911 right then and there, but I wasn't 100% sure of anything right then. I'd seen a shape, not Michael Myers pointing a knife at me. Life isn't black and white most of the time, I was thinking. Anyway, I've secured all the windows and doors, shoved the cordless phone into my hoodie front porch. Into my hoodie. Letitia, with a 2, says, listening to you relaxes me. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the 2.
Listen.
Joel is good at making people calm so they can... Oh my god. I promise that's not my mode of EJ. Anyway, I've secured all the windows and doors, shoved the cordless phone into my hoodie's front pouch, and have even positioned a Little League bat near the couch so that I was sort of armed. So by that point, I started to feel relatively safe again. If there was some creeper lurking outside looking to prey on a teenage babysitter, they would get one heck of a rude awakening when I waved my bat at them and screamed that the cops were on the way. So I lie back on the couch, but naturally find myself unable to relax. I open the curtains back up so I can see if anyone is hanging around in the front yard, keeping my eyes on the windows every so often in between watching whatever social train wreck is on TLC. Nothing happens for a while, and I start to think it was all just in my head or something. Right about the time I get up to wander into the kitchen to grab a drink of water. As I'm in there, I get that intense feeling that I'm being watched. I turn to see that same dark shape in the kitchen window, only this time, I rush into action. I hammer 911 into the phone, telling the dispatcher I need the cops to my address ASAP, that there's a home invasion in progress. I honestly don't know if it was the adrenaline or I was just... Shit, hold on, let me close the door. One real quick. Joe, my God, gaming with the 2 says, are there stories too scary for to post or read? I don't think so. I guess if there's anything that would kind of go against terms of services, I suppose, of YouTube, that I tend to avoid things that might just be, I guess you'd have to kind of use your imagination for that. Usually these stories kind of make it pretty far, you know what I mean, as far as the controversy surrounding whatever might occur, sort of individualized fear, but most of the time I think that we're usually pretty good, and I'm not really going to select ones that are, I suppose, too bad, is really the only way I can describe them. Spoony Life with the 3 says, first time catching a stream, love the voice. Thank you, Spoony, welcome. Michael Myers Heart. Who the best? Joel, thank you. I honestly don't know if it was the adrenaline or I was just sick of pervs thinking they can get away with stuff like that, but I just sort of charged. After screaming out that the cops were on their way, I ran into the TV room, grabbing the Little League bat, and just ran for the back door, which led out of the kitchen and into the backyard. What happened next is frankly astounding. As I ran at the guy, baseball bat in hand, ready to bash his brains out right there in the yard, I recognized him instantly. It was a face I'd seen before, not long ago at all. It was the kid's dad. So long story short, the dad of the kid I'd been babysitting had, for whatever reason, decided he needed to see what kind of babysitter I was. So apparently he drove his wife to whatever party they were headed to, turned back saying he'd forgotten something, then decided to watch me over the course of about an hour or two to see if I was worth the cash that they were spending. Obviously, since no crime was actually committed, there was no one to charge. The dad offered me a sincere apology, even offered me double the cash just to finish the night up, but I refused. No amount of money could have persuaded me to stay, and needless to say, I was very selective with who I babysat after that. Oh. Okay. Kind of caught me off guard. I didn't expect that, but it is interesting.
Full-grown pizza.
Full-grown pizza. E.g. Time has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the Buttersock Cult. Welcome, E.g. Time. Welcome. And there's Jensen. Big Daddy Jensen. What's poppin', boyo? Are you gonna stream tonight? At the after party? Oh yeah, now you guys got a mod, you gotta watch out. No way that Dad was just waiting to see what kind of babysitter she was, I guarantee it. Yeah, that's a good point too. He could have just been creepy as fuck. I'm gonna watch from a distance. I was gonna say, because they have like babysitter cams and shit like that you could just put in your house to watch like remotely, you know what I mean? I feel like that would make more sense. Is it midnight? Is it midnight, everybody? Or do we got a few more minutes? You guys got to keep track of midnight, and I mean that on the East Coast here, because from my clock we got about 2.5 minutes to midnight. That's like a new Tom Clancy movie. You don't miss babysitting some creepy times. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Ooh, Jensen's gonna show his face while he streams. Well, he's a brave one. He's also a sexy one, too, so you girls better get in there to get a peek at that ass. Alright, we're gonna read through story 2, but please alert me when midnight hath strucketh. Only got 3 minutes to save the world. The worst kid I ever babysat for was named Rory. This all took place about 14 years ago now in a small town called Haddington, just outside of Edinburgh in Scotland. It's a nice place in general. Alright, how do you say Edinburgh? Is it Edinburgh? Son of a bitch. I've said this stupid fucking place 1,000 times and I just can't recall.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Ugh. Welcome, Deborah. Welcome. You're simping. Bridget is simping hard. Simping ain't easy. Josh with the 5 says, what up, Joel? What is up? We are on story 2 of the babysitting Spookerino stories. So welcome. Edinburgh. Okay. Please show your face at midnight, Joel. I shan't be doing that. Oh shit. We can count down this. Yeah, fuck it. It's 30 seconds till happy birthday time. Might as well just wait it out. 29. 28. What was it on The Office? Was it Dwight that how much time did he count down from? Was it 10 minutes or something? It was really funny. Jensen's gonna show his wiener on stream. Just get right to it. Get banned quick. You like my ghost face? Ghost face killer. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday! That snuck up on me. Sorry about that. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. President. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Time to start an OnlyFans, baby. Happy birthday, Bridget. Welcome to 28 and beyond. Things will never, ever look the same. Crystal with the 2 says happy birthday. Yeah, wish we could donate that to Bridget. Happy birthday. Oh. What a nice grouping of beautiful people. Please join choir. I shall. The 30-year-old choir, guys. I wonder if a bunch of like 14-year-old boys would take me in. Hello, I'm here to be a tenor. Sir, you look a little bit old to be a choir boy. Oh, but I'm just as supple. Right this way. The priest will see you now. You don't believe in OnlyFans but for Daddy Joel. Daddy. Oh, happy B-Day. Drop an album. Drippity drippity drop. Drippity drippity drop. The internet cult does know how to party. They know all the ways. Why 14-year-old boys? Well, I don't know. That's like that. There was like a famous Catholic choir group that was also like, I don't know, they were a famous band of like young teen boys or something like that that were part of the choir. And it's usually Catholic choirs, like little boys. I was making like a perv joke, but not that I would do. You get the gist. It's a fucking joke. Anyways. This all took place about 14 years ago now in a small town called Haddington, just outside of Edinburgh in Scotland. It's a nice place in general, but people there can be pretty, well, weird. I'd have to be to volunteer. What? I'd have to be to volunteer. Oh, okay. Daddy Sings, first album name. I'd have to be to volunteer myself for babysitting jobs in a small town like that, where suspicion and malice is rife, and there's a dark secret being hidden in almost every household there is. What? And there's a dark secret being hidden in almost every household there is. So, anyway, I'd always been sort of aware of Rory's existence. I'd gone to school with his older brother, Strawn. What the fuck? The fuck kind of name is Struan? Stroon? Rory and Stroon? How the hell do you say that, stupid? What kind of name is that? What the fuck? Haddington, is that your hometown? It might be.
Struan.
Struan. Is that it? Or is this one it?
Struan.
Struan. Alright. Is that a name? Struan? Is that like one of those millennial moms' names? Struan. This is my son, Struan. Struan, name. Alright. Anybody ever heard that one before? I'm just gonna roll with it. Struan. Sounds about right. How do you screw in a Struan? He's a shoo-in to win the... Struan is a shoo-in. Valerie, that's... Your name is Struan? I don't believe it. He was screwing Struan. I'd gone to school with his older brother, Struan, for a few years, who was a similarly creepy little person, but I'd never really encountered Rory on a personal level. And that was all about to change. After I put the notice up in the local off-license that I was offering sitting services, I grew to dread it when my phone rang. I mean, it was mostly normal jobs, for normal families, but every so often I'd get a call and I'd just know it was going to be a bad one. And when I got the call from Rory's mom, I knew it was going to be rough. But I couldn't just turn down the job. If you get a reputation for being flaky or unreliable, the phone calls and the money quickly dry up. So once the family had promised me my usual rate, the job was on. It seemed pretty simple. Friday night, 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. with money for a takeaway delivery included. I arrived a few minutes early, just to kind of get myself oriented in the house. It's super important to know where the basics are, but also where stuff like plasters and other first aid supplies are located just in case the kid has an accident. Rory's parents seem pretty friendly, but the parents are always friendly when you're giving them a night off from parenting. But no matter how friendly and chirpy they were, you could kind of tell that they weren't exactly the most normal of families. So just before the parents leave for whatever event they were going to, they introduce me to Rory. And the moment I lean down to say hi, I can tell straight away he is not keen on the evening's proceedings. The first words out of his mouth are, "I don't like her." He looks at me, says nothing, then looks at his mom and dad and says straight up, "I don't like her." I just sort of laughed awkwardly while his parents reassured him that I was there to look after him and that they'd be back before he knew it. But still, the wee laddie glared at me, scowled, and then ran upstairs to his room before slamming the door. I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't faced that kind of hostility before, but it's also a huge buzz to win the kid over, to go from not wanting me there to not wanting me to leave. So Rory's parents leave, telling me he's got a microwavable meal in the fridge that I'm to heat up if and when he gets hungry. But I decide to employ my primary winning over tactic, walking to the bottom of the stairs and calling up, "Rory, I'm going to order a pizza. You can have some if you want. Just come downstairs whenever you're ready." Now this usually has a shy, moody kid smiling and warming up to me, but not Rory. He didn't make so much as a peep. I mean, if I'm honest, there was a moment that I thought he might have, climbed out of his bedroom window or something. I'm serious. That never ever happens when you offer pizza. So I go up, creep towards his room, and I'm about to knock when the door swings open, and the little guy has stood there, fury in his eyes, and he screeches out, "Get away from my bedroom!" before slamming the door in my face. It scared the absolute life out of me, so I just went downstairs and hoped the night would be over as quickly as possible. So since Rory didn't want any pizza, I ordered an Indian instead. I ordered an individual Indian. I ordered Pradeep. Who did I miss here? Who did I miss? Sorry, Daddy. Mr. Games with a 2 said you should read a whole story like Chills. Yeah. So since Rory didn't want any pizza, I ordered an Indian. Bridget Jones with a 5. Donations were empty. Hi. Thanks for the song, Joel. And love, all you beautiful people. Oh, thank you, Bridget. Happy birthday again. Thank you for the 5. Thank you. Josh with 5 says, well, let's get it going, baby. Hell yeah. And Val has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the BABYSITTING cult. Everyone say hello to Val. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. 12 strikes, it probably is. Hopefully I don't get to 15. So since Rory didn't want any pizza, I ordered Indian instead. The delivery driver arrives, I get my food, and I'm sitting there eating it on the couch when I hear little footsteps coming down the stairs. Rory appears in the doorway and I ask if he's hungry yet. He doesn't say a thing, not for a good minute, so I just kind of smile and carry on eating my chicken korma. "Do you have a boyfriend?" he suddenly asks. I nearly spat out a load of rice, just like this involuntary awkward laughter rising up from my throat. I mean, I literally couldn't believe he just asked me something like that. Of all the questions to make a babysitter feel incredibly awkward, this tops the list. I just reply yes, I do actually. He's lovely and he lives just around the corner, actually. A lie, of course. I was painfully single at the time, but anything to deter the little brat. As expected, little Rory does not take this well, then sort of marches off into the kitchen. I suspect he's after his food, but I've been given strict instructions not to let him mess around with the microwave or let him try to prepare any hot food. He wasn't quite tall enough to reach the countertop yet, and he was blatantly at risk of scalding himself with the hot food. Only when I follow him into the kitchen to politely tell him that I didn't mind making his food for him, I see him climbing onto a chair that he's pushed towards the countertop. Just as I'm about to stop him, he pulls the biggest kitchen knife he can find out of the knife block before turning towards me with the biggest, most evil-looking grin on his face. I turn, run out of the kitchen and slam the door behind me, leaning on it to prevent him from getting through. That's when this little monster starts stabbing the door. Or at least, that's what it sounded like. And it wasn't the thickest of wood, so I squeal in fear and hold my body away from the door while leaning on the door handle. I had to hold that door shut for a full half hour while he proceeded to absolutely trash the kitchen. I could hear plates breaking, glasses smashing, all kinds of chaos going on behind the door. I called the parents with the intention of telling them that they had to come home immediately, but they actually just patched my calls. I was left alone, to basically barricade myself into the living room for the remaining few hours of the night. When the parents got back, they went mental, proper rage, and refused to pay me for my services. They basically blamed me for his shocking behavior and swore blind that they'd be telling everyone what a horrible babysitter I was. I cried all the way home. Luckily, the calls didn't dry up, and I actually talked to one family who said they'd completely sympathized with what had happened, knowing full well what a nightmare child that little brat could be. So, that's the scariest time I ever had babysitting, and I implore you, if you're getting into it, be careful who you choose to babysit for. Non-payment could have been the best possible outcome to that night. Whoops. Non-payment could have been the sorry. Hey, Mark Lurst with the 20 says thank you for the patriotic retweet. Merca, you're welcome. I doth not recall, but thank you, my friend, for the 20. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Was it the Simon Cowell getting his butt crack flossed by a towel from somebody else? I haven't vaguely forgetting that. Thank you for the 20. I really do appreciate that. And Cassandra Juardo with the 3, doing the look around. The what do they call that? The blue steel. I probably shouldn't even show it to anyone. It's still in the works. What is this? A stream for ants to crawl up my bum? I was telling someone that they really need to watch Zoolander because oh my god, it's so fucking funny. Did anyone see Zoolander 2? Because I have not, and it's weird how it kind of just faded into obscurity. Yeah, I don't know what the parents' response was to this shit. I feel like there's a lot more to that story that I need to know. Yeah, I do miss the days of savage Simon Cowell. I would like to... Oh, you know what's really funny is there was a video of Ricky Gervais and Chef Gordon Ramsay kind of going head to head, and it's just so funny to see Ricky Gervais call out Gordon Ramsay for his bullshit while simultaneously making him laugh really hard, so it's pretty hilarious. I should look that up. Non-payment could have been the best possible outcome to that night, as I might not even be here to be able to tell this story. Sorry, that sounded fucking weird. Can I do the Zoolander face? Oh, I do it all the time. It's the only face I really have. It's just kind of scrunched up that way from now on. Modeling. I was born to model. Papa, I got the black lung. Non-payment could have been the best possible outcome to that night, as I might not even be here to be able to tell this story. Well, I'm just surprised that there's not some sort of fallout from that where she got her parents involved. I mean, wouldn't you tell your parents, you know what I mean? I told my parents and then they were livid and pissed and blah blah blah. And or, to get the police involved, right? I don't know. Just seems kind of really random. And the best part of the movie is the gasoline fight. Oh my god, it is so fucking funny. And it's one of the best songs ever playing during that time. And he lights up a cigarette. No. I got the black lung, pup. I've never been a babysitter, unless you count looking after my little brother on the odd occasion, but I do have a babysitter story for you all. This all happened back when I was about 10 or 11, as it was the last year of primary school for me, and I remember being really excited about going to big school, as my mom and dad phrased it. They were off to some work function, and I needed a babysitter. I distinctly remember them being worried that they wouldn't be able to go, as I think they left it quite late and were worried that they wouldn't be able to find a sitter. I didn't want to be left alone with a stranger, so I remember being absolutely gutted when they said they'd managed to find someone to stay for a few hours on a Saturday evening. But when the time came and the babysitter arrived, I remember thinking that it wouldn't be so bad. She was very pretty and seemed genuinely lovely. Some university student called Sarah, I can't quite remember, but she pretty much won my parents over in the first few minutes, and well, since they liked her so much, I kind of liked her too. She told me we'd have a little slumber party, that we could watch my favorite film, and my parents sweetened the deal by saying that they'd leave us money for some pizza. So I really did perk up for a bit as they showed the girl around the house and actually warmed up to the idea as they left the house, and Sarah, who we'll just call her now for the story's sake, she began to order us pizza. Only that's when things started to get a bit weird. She asked me what my favorite topping was, in a voice that didn't sound nearly as jolly as before. When I told her I liked pepperoni the most, still my favorite, she just laughed and told me she was a vegetarian. I tried to tell her we could always get 2 smaller pizzas, but she just ignored me as she placed an order for a large spicy veggie one. I hated spice, and I still do. I can't handle chilies for the life of me, even as a grown-up, so the younger me was absolutely heartbroken that I'd been pretty much shut out of the pizza party that we were supposed to be throwing. And it all went downhill from there. There was a knock at the door a little while after she called, and I suspected it was the delivery guy, but it wasn't. From the top of the stairs, I watched as some lad in his own clothes stepped out of the cold and into our hallway. I was confused as to what was going on, where the pizza was and all that, but when the pair of them started sharing this really horrible wet kiss, I got onto the fact that it was obviously her boyfriend or something. And this is all after hearing my parents make it clear to her that she wasn't allowed any company around. So I was really bloody annoyed at this point, like furious. So I snuck down into the kitchen to try and find the house phone to call my mom, only it wasn't in the charger. I trot around for a wee bit trying to find the thing when I realized there's a good chance the babysitter had it with her. Had it with her. Lils with the 2 says, thank you for making work bearable. You're welcome, Lils. I hope you have a good shifty shift. And Dave P with a 5. No need for a shout out. Just keep rolling the ball of content. Great work, dude. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for the 5. You are welcome, I shall. Hey, listen to me. Sorry, I just need to check something real quick here, just to make sure that all the technicalities are up and operating. Sweet. Good to go. On to the pizza party. On to the pizza party. Only it wasn't in the charger. I trot around for a wee bit trying to find the thing when I realized there's a good chance the babysitter had it with her. I walked down the hall to the living room where she and her boyfriend were, opened the door, and pretty much recoil at what I see. They're doing stuff, right there on the couch. Sarah screams at me to get out and shuts the door, and I respond with asking her for the phone. She doesn't even acknowledge my request, gets up from the couch with fury in her eyes and slams the door on me before screaming through the wood to get back up to my room and be quiet. I told her I was hungry, but again, absolutely no acknowledgement. So I went back up to my room and just bawled my eyes out. So it's pretty important to remember that this was like the mid-90s, back when the internet or mobile phones weren't exactly available or affordable for a family like mine. If this had happened nowadays, it would be a piece of pie to just phone my parents or, hey, even take a photo of the boyfriend being there, and that would be that. But I just didn't have those options available to me, and even if I had, This girl was so conniving that she'd probably have found a way around it. But that sort of maltreatment wasn't what scared me. Yeah, it was upsetting, but another danger became more of a priority when I realized that they had trapped the family dog inside the living room with them. I went back downstairs, facing my fears and hoping I could at least get Jazz out of the room with them. She was an Australian Shepherd, one of those dogs that's dead shaggy but also looks like someone spilled a can of paint over them or something. I loved her so much, and I had to rescue her. So I knock on the living room door, only to get told to go away. I knock again, telling the babysitter that it was important that Jazz had to go outside to have a wee or for her to be taken on a walk so she could do a number 2. Again, she barked at me to go away. I wasn't about to let this happen to my best friend in the world, though, so I pushed the door open just in time to see the boyfriend do something frankly unbelievable. So in England, we play cricket, don't we? And the balls are insanely hard. Like, I think they might be even harder than baseballs you Americans play with. Solid cork on the inside with a tough leather binding. People actually died from getting hit on the head with cricket balls. Jazz loved cricket ball. I have no idea where this is about to go. It's kind of funny. Did you miss a lot, Brian? No, this is actually near the end of story 3. The last time the fire department showed up at my house to put out a fire, I was quoted saying, "No, I was not smoking in bed. The bed was on fire when I got in it." Oh my god. The insurance company dropped you. Stinky old insurance company. They don't believe anything nowadays. Jazz loved her cricket ball. We tried throwing tennis balls and stuff for her, but I think she just liked that leather smell the cricket ball gave off. But I think she just liked that leather smell the cricket ball gave off. Maybe it reminded her of actually chasing an animal or something. I don't know. But either way, I opened the door of the living room to find the boyfriend of the sitter just lashing the cricket ball at Jazz. So hard that when it hit her back leg, she yelped, all high-pitched. I tried to run in to rescue her, to pull her into my room where she could be safe, but the boyfriend was fast. He pushed me back into the hallway, shut the door, and then I'm certain he wedged something against it, because I couldn't open it at all from the... Because I couldn't open it at all from then on. I went up to my room and cried myself to sleep. Dude, why do I keep fucking up? I don't know why. Oh wow, we're at 650 people right now, which is pretty lit. Cassandra with the 2 says alien versus robot versus dinosaur. Who would win the fight? Shit, I guess it just depends on really, what we're talking here. Like, when I think aliens, I think of like alien grays, which I presume only really have like their technology to help them, you know what I mean? And then a robot, when I think of a robot, I guess you got a few variations of that, obviously. You have, the Iron Giant, but you also have, like, I guess, like a Roomba. Maybe the Roomba has a knife or something like that. And then a dinosaur. Oh, man. How many variations of those are there? I like to imagine probably the alien would win just because they'd have technology on their side. Unless it's like an alien that, like, is essentially the, Mars version of like a sea cucumber or something like that, which probably wouldn't stand a chance unless it shoots out some sort of like paralytic from its, excretions. It's really hard to say. We'd have to do a little bit more research on that. Okay, so what the fuck's up with this dude and the dog? But then the boyfriend was fast. I went up to my room and cried myself to sleep, only waking up to hear my parents talking to the sitter when they got home. I didn't make a sound. I was just too scared. For some reason, I had it in my head that the boyfriend would hurt them. I don't know. Kids are daft like that, I suppose, but of course, he wasn't there. He left before my mom and dad got home. I think the real nightmare was that the sitter had actually spun some pure sob story about how I'd been really bad and terribly behaved all evening, how I'd been a brat and demanded this, that, and the other, and they made a huge bloody mistake. The absolute wankers. Because that cricket ball had been left. Because that cricket ball had left a huge welt on Jazz's hind leg. And when my dad found out that, I'd at least been partially telling the truth about what they'd been up to. And God, you should have seen how livid he was. I won't bore you with the petty details, but let's just say that sitter and her boyfriend ended up actually getting arrested on animal cruelty charges, and I know for a fact that he ended up getting convicted and fined for it. So, I suppose a silver lining to a truly terrible night, but be careful who you're hiring to sit your kids, people. Your kid peoples. Wankers. Fucking wankers. 18 mistakes. 18 naked mistakes at Ram Ranch. They killed the babysitter. Jesus. I'm surprised the dog wouldn't lash out, but I guess some dogs are just kind of like too dang nice. Luigi with the $3. How's it going, Luigi? Someone was saying about submitting a story about a Luigi board. Old Ronnie. Justice for Jazz. Limp wanker. So this is story 4. Emily says, don't leave your kids with strangers. Kids usually feel it's their fault and stay quiet. Yeah, you do have to be careful. There's so many stories in here that I read where, like, the kid says that they're, like, afraid to tell their side of the story because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble, you know? So I feel like it's important to kind of, like, emphasize with their kids, like, the importance of communication, even if they think they're going to get in trouble, just to kind of, like, cover that base. Yeah, where is Cassie? She's usually here, but I guess it's kind of late. I think she's on the east coast, too, of Canada. Okay. So this is the story of the worst day of my entire life so far. I was just 15 at the time, babysitting my little sister who was a toddler, like about that kind of age where she could walk and open doors. My parents were making a quick run to the store and left me in charge. I was chilling in the TV room. Sis was in her bedroom playing with her dolls or whatever. After a few minutes of... Excuse me. Oh yeah, where's Jamie? I have not seen Jamie in many moons. Oh, 666 people. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I was chilling in the TV room. Sis was in her bedroom playing with her dolls or whatever. After a few minutes of watching TV, I noticed it was a little too quiet. I checked her room and she wasn't there. I checked everywhere else with growing alarm, looking and calling for her, but she was nowhere to be found. To my absolute horror, I realized the person I'm supposed to be babysitting is definitely no longer in the house. There was this kids' swing park across the street that she liked, and this wouldn't be the first time that she worked the doorknob successfully and toddled over to play there by herself. So I sprinted over there to look for her, running on pure adrenaline and panic. But there was still no sign of her. I spotted a group of 3 grade schoolers there, so I described her and asked them if they had seen her around. One of the boys told me he saw a girl matching her description get into a blue car. We don't own a blue car, nor do any of the family friends. I can't adequately describe the feeling of dread, panic, and hopelessness that completely overwhelmed me. It was kind of feeling like my heart actually fell out of my chest. I sprinted from one end of the block to the other, hoping to catch a glimpse of this blue car. I ran through and around the adjoining elementary school, hoping maybe she was there. Never mind that I'd already been told that she had gotten into a stranger's car. I was completely irrational, was hoping that I had misheard that kid or something, or maybe, please, God, she was back. After some kind of eternity, I ran back home to call 911. By this time, my parents were back, and lo and behold, my sister was with them. It turns out she did open the door and wander off, but only to the store and back. A stranger had asked her where she lived, and then walked her straight back to her house since it was obviously dangerous for her to be out alone. In my panic, I'd completely missed her coming home, and I was furious as to why my parents didn't think to notify me, so I guess it ended okay. I locked myself in the bathroom and sobbed for a while. Then I was overcome by an overwhelming urge to punch this little turd who had lied to me. I bolted back to the playground with no clear plan in mind. He wasn't there when I got back. I suppose that's good because I was sufficiently older, bigger, and utterly blind with rage that I probably would have murdered him at that point. An apology, however, physically coerced, would have... Whoops, let me stop. Whoops. Hey, Maya B with a 5 says, have a good night, Joel. I'm so glad I was able to make this stream. Much love to you and Pradeep. Thank you, Maya. Thank you. Sleep well and have an amazing evening. Thank you so much. Joel has a trendy dance on TikTok. Shit, I didn't even know about that. What's my TikTok? I do not have a TikTok. That is one thing I shall probably avoid unto my death. Even though, if anybody has any funny TikToks, please send them to me, but just never gonna make a TikTok, probably. An apology, however physically coerced, would have been nice, though. Oh, and I'm fairly certain the boy wasn't just mistaken. After all was said and done, I recalled that one of the kids in his little group of friends had started to chime up when she saw me running around in a panic. I just vaguely remember her saying something like, "Hey, mister, you should know about your sister." Something in the tone of her voice was apologetic, like she realized how messed up their joke was. But I was completely irrational at that point and ran off to keep searching, and it failed to register until later. Point being, there's a reason why the front page of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy says, "Don't panic." Never truer a word said. Do I have an OnlyFans? I don't. I do not. Though, if I did, what would you like to see on there? Do any guys even have, like, OnlyFans pages? Or is anybody popular that you know have one that you're, like, actually subscribed to? I just feel like that'd be such a waste of time. Unless you, like, obsess with the person, you know. Or I guess if they're, like, somebody, like, tantalizingly famous on YouTube that or whatever that otherwise would not, you know, you couldn't catch them or whatever. But I just feel like that's like a, you know, that's where the term simp sort of like originated. But it does make sense to me as like the position of a simp. Like, why don't you just go jerk off on Pornhub or some shit? You know what I mean? But I do hope to. I mean, right now the Patreon is just $1 for like early access. But I do hope to like up it so like $5 a month gets you an addition besides the early access of the normal audio. I'll hopefully do like a 20-minute, you know, creepypasta or like a pretty decent length like creepypasta like once a month in addition, and then also at like a 15 tier maybe some schmut, you know, some raunchy reading. But I don't really know how that works on Patreon, if they like you have to make your page like adults only or some shit like that. But at the same time, you never know how low my my bar will drop. Super cool to support sex workers. Yeah, I don't fucking know, dude. Why don't you just go get a prostitute? JK. Pornhub is free. Okay, but it's not customized. What the fuck does that even mean? You just type in like Ebony Blasters and you're fucking good to go or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or just like furry tickle taints. I don't know. Just any of their variations. It's the future. You can type in any word you want and there's Rule 34, dude. Why would you like... The only thing I could see is if there was like, you know, someone like PewDiePie had like a OnlyFans or some like random, I don't know, like what's that one chick, Liza? Remember her name? Like Liza something. If she had an OnlyFans, I might pay like money to just to look. I'm sure they would leak, you know what I mean? All that shit would leak. But I just exposed myself. I'm exposed. My Cornhub page. Now we know what Joel watches. I watch Tickle Taints. Furry Tickle Taints. It was trending. Leave me alone. Judith, what's up? Liza Koshy. Yeah, I don't know. I had like this weird like love-hate thing with Liza Koshy. It was in my own mind, obviously, but like I'd watch her videos and she was just like so random and all over the place that I really enjoyed her sense of humor, you know what I mean? And I thought she was attractive, but at the same time there was something deep within me that also mildly despised the sort of ADD all over the place aspect of YouTube, and the fact that it was working on me so well made me even more frustrated. I'm just like, Gah, why do I have an erection? I hate this. This is bullshit. Get her away from me. She's too pretty. Asking you not to be perverted is just too much. Just too much. No, I feel that. It's like impossible for me not to say some bullshit. Nah, I was simping. But yeah, then I found out that she was dating David Dobrik. And then he fucking broke up with her, dude. What the fuck? What a dickhead. What a fucking dickhead. He kind of looks like a budget porn star to me. Like, I don't know. Like, he looks like a James Dean who never actually... I don't really know. Never actually had sex. Carrie with the 10 maple syrup dollars. Thank you so much, Carrie. It says, I just want to see your face. Go on. I'm telling you guys, go to Discord, baby. Got the selfies tab. Click on there. You will see this mug made for radio. You will see it.
Hey, listen.
Need to hook Joel up. Joel's peepee is a standing ovation. Thank you. Thank you. Jelly of David Dobrik. I probably would be. I can't stand his content though. What was that Meat Canyon? You ever watch their videos? He made a pretty fucking hilarious like parody of David, where like he's buying his friends like cars all the time or some shit. It was just like a commentary on like vlogging, and they're like, "Listen, man, like I don't want another car. I have 5 Lamborghinis in my garage at home that you've given me, and I can't even afford the insurance. Like, I get it that you're a millionaire, but I don't want a fucking car just for the content of your video, man." And then, like, you know, David's got this, like, shit-eating grin on his face, but then all of a sudden he's like, "What? You will accept my gift?" And then just, like, fucking latches onto his friend and then, like, swallows him whole, you know, like a fucking anaconda. And then he's like... And then he's like, "What do you guys think?" Like all the friends in the car, like, "Yeah, David, that's so cool. Thanks, man. Thanks." And then he's like, "All right, feast, my pretties." And then he like leans back and he has like 6 nipples on his like giant morbid stomach that they're all like suckling from his teats. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen. Crispy or Trispy, I forget. Your narrations are a nice way to pass time, especially on the night shift. Thank you, Crispy. Thank you, thank you. I used to work the night shift quite a bit. So I know the pain of passing time, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Vor. Oh my god. Mr. Beast is better. I don't know. I just don't give a shit about that. Like I just could give 2 fucks less about the like all, you know, I took 1,000 shits and 1,000 toilets, you know what I mean? Or like I stabbed my girlfriend with 1 trillion knives, guys. Woo! You know, like I get it. It's like, oh, whoa, that's a lot of money. Or like, oh, they're all holding their hand on there to win, you know, a glass dildo or something. But it's just like, dude, I don't like, fuck off with that shit, man. Like I want to, like sometimes I like to be entertained. Like I feel like I'm like absorbing some sort of knowledge from it or especially humor. But the Mr. Beast stuff, though he seems like a nice guy. He planted an entire rainforest. That's exciting, but like, other than that, to me, it's just like, you know, anything that reaches like the tippity top of YouTube is, to me, like borderline, like mind-numbing. I just can't really deal with it. But I understand why it's there at the same time. Like, you did your shit. You did your thing, and you made it happen. Congrats. Candace King with the 2 says, hey, you. Hey, Candace, what's up? Welcome. You always listen to my videos while you're working. Currently at work right now. Your voice is soothing. Thank you, Kayla. And I'm not trying to talk shit on Mr. Beast fans in here. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But, like, what if the glass dildo breaks? I know. They're like, Mr. Beast is not thinking these videos through, dude. He's going to hurt somebody. Cassandra, I am old and do not understand Discord. Am I to understand? You guys worship burritos when people ask for selfies. I don't really know. I think we sacrifice them maybe or something so that a selfie might appeareth. I can't keep up with the memes in here, honestly. They just get created on a secondly basis. Hey, Jade. All right, we're going to start story 5 here. Enough of my blambering. Back when I was 17, I used to babysit for our neighbor, who at the time was a single mother who happened to be going through a particularly nasty divorce. She had 2 young sons, one of which was 8 years old, while the other was only around 18 months. They were absolutely adorable and very well-behaved kids, but you could tell that they were going through a lot, and the older one definitely showed signs of stress over the whole thing. And I'll never forget the time he asked me why his daddy couldn't live with them anymore, and it honestly broke my heart. Not because I didn't have an answer for him, but because to hear it would have just been too much to bear. Too much for anyone to bear. Anyway, after a few months of being alone, she finally decided to get back on the old dating horse. I was so happy for her. After such a rough time, she deserved to find happiness again, to find someone who had the wherewithal to be a real father to these 2 adorable little boys. So one night she leaves on her date and says she'll be back around midnight and not a moment later. Only she doesn't tell me exactly where she's going, and I have no way to contact her because this was back in the 80s and no one had a cell phone. Well, they did exist, but not in the available commercial sense. It was all landlines back then. Otherwise, this might not have gone the way it did. So on the night in question, I'm chilling on the couch, absent-mindedly flicking through the TV channels. I put the kids to bed an hour previous. They're sleeping like rocks, and everything seems fine and dandy. When suddenly there's a knock at the front door. I wasn't expecting anyone, but then again, it wasn't my house, so I felt kind of obligated to answer and take a message or whatever. Only as I started walking down the hallway towards the front door, whoever is on the other side starts banging against it and cursing up a storm. "Cheryl, I know you're in there. Open the door." Now, what was exactly said, I don't remember, but I'm not keen on repeating some of the words they used. It was really, really harsh. So I'm just frozen, looking at the door in total fright when the oldest boy came flying out of his room and down the stairs, running to the door and yelling, "Daddy's home!" I grab him, pull him away from the door. I had no idea what this guy's intentions were, and after all, they were probably divorced for a freaking reason. But I almost fainted with fear when I hear the words, "I got my shotgun in my truck, and tonight, I'm going to teach you a lesson you'll never forget." He screams this, but then I hear his footsteps move up the gravel path. It appeared he wasn't bluffing at all. And if that was the case, then our lives were clearly in danger. When he gets back, he's banging on the door and threatening to start shooting through it if no one opens. I grab both kids and run out the back door and across the street to my house where my mom calls the police. When the police arrive a few minutes later, they actually find the ex-husband taking a massive dump on Cheryl's porch. He was arrested, and I wait with the kids at my house for their mom to show up. Everyone was in tears by that point, even my mom, who was normally a pretty reserved woman. I mean, maybe he was just having a manic episode and no one was in real danger, but honestly, it was one of the most terrifying nights of my entire life. You finally saw me face. Carrie, with a 5, Beaverbuck says, do I need an invite? I've tried and not too tech savvy. Yes, I do believe you need an invite. I don't know. Do we have anybody here that can post an invite to the Discord? One of the mods or something like that. Just because I don't know if the invites expire that I post in the description and stuff like that, but I can definitely post one at the end of the stream if you guys are still around. And Mr. Roddy, third 330 with the 2. Thank you, Mr. Roddy. Thank you. Weston Dicksward. Join the Dicksward. The glass dildo. Holy shit. Do I have a dick pic? I don't think I posted that on Discord. And Cassandra with the 3 says, if you discovered an island, what would you name it? Maybe like
Hey, listen.
Little Sir James or something of that nature. Little Sir James. Little Saint Jim. Sleeper. You're doing too many spammies, my friend, with the word PP. Not against the dick pic. Some of them he kind of looks like he has people in his basement, so very into that scenario. Wait, who? Are these pictures of me that I look like I have people in my basement? I like go back and look at them and I like see people. We're like, what the fuck? Where were those people? They weren't supposed to be in frame. Mr. Games with the 2 says, how do I view your face? I only see pretty girls. So at the top right, there's a little thing that looks like a thumbtack. It's pinned. It's the pin messages. You can click that, and it should take you to all of the pictures of me that have been pinned within the Discord.
Hey, listen.
Hey, see EJ, have a good night. Wait, did we? Okay. He screams, footsteps in the gravel path appear to be. Oh yeah, so we read story 5 about the guy taking a shit on the porch. That was a pretty good one, actually. Yeah, Pradeep is cute. He's a good boy. Yeah, 720 folks in the chat. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't already. Share this out on social media. Always happy to do that. So this story isn't about me babysitting anymore, but rather a close relative babysitting me and my sister when we were much younger. My parents told us the story when we grew up, and honestly, this has to be one of the last things any babysitter would want to happen to them or anyone in their guardianship. We wince every single time they retell it, and I'm guessing you will too. My parents had decided that they were going to have a little date night for the wedding anniversary and called up a family member to see if they would babysit us for the evening. She adored babies and would always play with us when she would occasionally visit, so she must have appeared to be the best person for the job. Although by the end of this, you might well dispute that idea rather violently. My parents were in the living room getting ready to leave for the night, and we were in our room playing with her. After a little while, she starts throwing me up and down in the air in that playful way that grown-ups do with kids sometimes. Apparently our dad happened to notice this and warned her to be extremely careful since the ceiling fan was at full blast, but decided she was aware and responsible, so he just headed back to the living room to carry on getting changed. After a few more playful tosses in the air, she put me down and started to do the same thing with my sister. Except she wasn't quite as lucky. Wait. Oh yeah, sorry. Except she wasn't quite as lucky. According to my dad, no more than like 30 seconds had gone by when a loud gasp followed by a blood-curdling scream echoed all around the house. My parents came rushing into the living room when... Oh. Wow, Pradeep's biting my leg. That's kind of different. That's weird. What's the matter? What's the matter with you? Oh my goodness. I don't know if he just like severely wanted attention at that point. Violent attention. Fucking pet me, you piece of shit. Blood-curdling. According to my dad, no more than like 30 seconds had gone by when sorry. We're just all gonna type PP in the chat. Okay. That's fine, I guess. This show is rated PP. According to my dad, no more than like 30 seconds had gone by when a loud gasp, followed by a blood-curdling scream, echoed all around the house. My parents came rushing to the room, and what they witnessed was something my mom has never, ever been able to get out of her head. She just stood there in shock for a moment, surveying the pure horror of the scene before her. Our babysitter had accidentally tossed my sister into the fan while it was still on, and it wasn't one of those flimsy, cheapo ceiling fans that you can pick up from a Walmart. It was one of those solidly built steel blade fans, built with safety features, sure, but still super heavy. Also, the fan setting was thankfully not set to high, but only to medium. God knows what the damage would have been if it was. And the way my mom tells the story, for the first few moments after walking into the bedroom, she thought my sister was dead. Blood was splattered all over the wallpaper, almost as if someone had been brutally beaten. My sister was on her bed's blood-soaked sheets with a huge gash on her forehead, and you can only imagine what kind of horror was going through our babysitter's mind. An ambulance quickly came to get him cleaned up and... An ambulance quickly came to get her cleaned up and was given a lot of stitches in her forehead. My parents were more than relieved the blades didn't strike an eye, that she actually only managed to pick up superficial injuries. The babysitter didn't come around after that, even though everyone got over it pretty quickly since it was an accident. She still has the scar on her forehead today. We would joke around about the scar and how it was actually my plan to take her out to be an only child, or how she got her scar wrong and it's supposed to zigzag like Harry Potter's lightning bolt scar. I suppose, at best, it's an interesting story to tell if anyone asks her about the faint scar on her forehead. Joel is the main character and we are the side characters. I remember one kid in school, and my friends always joke about it, like, he didn't really know us that well, but we were just like hanging out at a party, and he's like, he's like labeling everybody as like characters, and he's like, yeah, and Joel, you're like one of them side characters or some shit. It's just like, and they always like, he's like, you're one of them background characters or something, and like, my friends like never let me live that down. He's like, so sometimes I'll just like, shut the fuck up, background character. It's just really funny. Joel from The Last of Us. Poor guy. Rip in peace. Okay. Story number 7. Oh, it's 1 a.m. You got a scar on your eyebrow from running into the corner of a wall when I was like 5. Oh, yeah. I feel like every kid's got some sort of scar that sticks with them. Hey, Cashy, what's up? The Blackpink press con starts in 7 minutes, literally dying. What's that about? Is that like a fashion show? Let's read. You have a girlfriend. A grill friend. A grill friend. I doth not. No girlfriend. Rest in pepperonis. Just kidding. I was talking about the first game, whenever I was eaten by a zombie. I could use a good grill friend. We all love to grill. During my teenage years, my family and I lived in military housing here in the U.S. A few doors down, there was a new couple with 2 kids who were referred to me since I made a little weekend cash working as a babysitter for some of the families who lived in base housing. Their house was pretty bare and undecorated since they had only been moved in there for like a week or so. When I arrived, my mom was showing me around the house with the 3-month-old baby in her arms, showing me where the baby's formula was kept, where I could get myself a bite to eat and stuff like that. I had to admit that I was a little worried about that particular job. 3 months old was by far the youngest baby I'd ever sat for, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't think that that mom was having similar thoughts. However, they were only going to go to their welcoming event for a couple of hours, and it was right there on base though, so not very far at all. I mean, what could possibly go wrong in such a short space of time? Well, something did go wrong, and it occurred at the very top of the staircase as her 3-year-old called her and she was following me down. Wait. Fuck. Wait. 3... Wait. Who are they babysitting for? A 3-month-old or a 3-year-old? I'm fucking confused. Their house was pretty... Okay. The mom showing me around the house with a 3-month-old baby in her arms. Wait. 2 kids. Okay, with 2 kids refer... Okay, sorry. I don't know why I was confused. Just the 3, like, threw me off for a second. Shit. 24 mistakes. Uh-oh. Actually, that's not bad for as far as we made it. I had to admit that I was a little worried about the particular job. Well, something did go wrong, and it occurred at the very top of the staircase as her 3-year-old called her and she followed me down. A strap on the mom's flip-flop snapped off and she suffered a terrible fall, completely taking me out as she toppled hopelessly down at the bottom, and as she did, she ended up dropping the baby from her arms. Honestly, I'm not sure how it happened, as I'm not exactly famous amongst friends for my agility, quite the opposite in fact. But as I was being sacked, I reached up and just sort of snatched the baby out of the air, grabbing a hold of her onesie and holding her up high as we all hurtled to the bottom. I ended up with a black eye and some bruises where the mom essentially bowled me over, and I thank God wherever I think about this. And I thank God whenever I think about this, the baby was luckily completely unscathed. Whereas the mom, she ended up with an open fracture of one leg, right above her knee, and a pretty solid concussion. I mean, the wounds looked horrendous. She was bleeding all over the new cream carpet, but she didn't act as if anything hurt at all, though. She just kept saying, "Thank you. You saved my baby. God bless you. You saved my baby," over and over again as the kid's dad called 911 and rushed an ambulance crew over to the house. They ended up paying me like $200 for a 4-hour gig that night, which in 1987 was practically a king's ransom, especially to a teenager like me. But I don't think my pulse slowed down for a week. I'm serious about that. Sometimes I'd think about catching that baby out of the air and I'd feel like I was going to have a panic attack. I pretty much stopped babysitting shortly after that because it freaked me out so much. Not just the event, but word getting around that I was like some superhero with cat-like reflexes when I'm pretty sure if that happened again, I couldn't grab that baby if I tried. I know that sounds crazy, that I probably just should have... I know that sounds crazy, that I probably just should have soaked up the praise and used it to make a ton more money, but it was all just way too much pressure for a young girl like me. You wonder if Joel skateboards. I did back in the day. Pretty much anything I'd ever tried in life that I wasn't like innately good at, you can probably guarantee I probably gave up pretty quickly. Skateboarding, guitar, mainly shit like that. Because I think I tried back when I was in middle school and stuff. You know, really like the skater persona and all that bullshit. Being cool, Jingo jeans. I don't really know, but Thrasher. But then you fall on your ass one time, you're like, fuck, that hurts. I don't like feeling that way. Or like you land on your wrist or some shit, and it's just like, oh my god. And then I also had a skateboard that had like big monster truck wheels from Walmart, which was so stupid. Like they sold monster truck wheel skateboards, but not normal ones. So it's like I looked like a complete idiot. Uh, and then back in college, I ended up getting a longboard, and I actually got pretty good at riding around on that. And it took forever for the what was the brand called? It was like a really good, like a really cool like bamboo type longboard. It was made by like, it wasn't like the Sector 9 ones, but it was like some sort of fancy bullshit that like ended up, I remember back then it was like $200, which was ridiculous, and like I had to wait for it to be in, and it was very flexible. Like my buddy who was actually good at like snowboarding and stuff would get on it and just like make it look like he was fucking surfing on on concrete. It was sick. But I just sucked ass, and then anytime I like bomb a hill, I still have the pants that just got like completely ripped up from like landing directly on my duff. And then I just give up. I just like, this is fucking dumb. I don't know how to do it. I'm like too, and then you're like sort of embarrassed that you're like too old to like learn, you know what I mean? Because I feel like when you're like in elementary, middle school, like nobody gives a shit that you're trying to learn something, because that's like when everybody tries to learn something. But then sort of semi beyond that, obviously you can still learn stuff, but it's almost like you need, if you get any eyes on you for a second, or you take a mildly negative experience, you're just like, alright, fuck that forever. Let me let my cat out real quick. Okay, well, fuck that forever. It's not over. My family just woke me up and they go to work, and I don't have a job. Come on, man. Read. Read. Daddy, read. 2 daddies in 1 chat. Oh, yeah. It's like daddy daycare, except hairier. It's like a big bear match. 2 bears wrestling. I know, my cat's got me whipped. Where's the music? Cut out for a second. It's back though. It like resets and stuff. This story takes place all the way back when I was still in high school. In order to earn money to fund my video game addiction, I regularly tutored this adorable little 11-year-old girl. We actually got along so well that the parents ended up asking me to babysit her and her little brother a couple of times. One night in particular, the parents were meant to go downtown to watch a baseball game before a few drinks with friends, telling me they'd be back earlier than midnight. Basic babysitting job, right? Wrong. Right around 8 o'clock in the evening, it started raining pretty heavily. We all lived in a Gulf city at the time, and storms can blow in fast before turning into flooding way, way fast. Once it became horrifyingly clear that we were in for one heck of a big storm, the parents tried to get home as quickly and safely as possible, but the streets had already started to flood, and apparently they ended up trapped in a parking lot. The irony was, 2 dudes, 1 cup. Me and Jensen, baby. We're just sharing a drink. And the irony was lost on me at the time, but not today. Anyway, the kids' parents called, and we agreed I'd spend the night in their guest bedroom. While they booked themselves into a motel, I had the kids go to bed, which was kind of dumb as they got absolutely no sleep thanks to the pounding rain, while I sat up in the kitchen to do homework and watch Netflix. After a little while, I started to notice water seeping in from under the back doors. They had a large house with like 3 double doors to the back, so it was a buttload of square feet. Excuse me. You had Jinko jeans too, nice. After a little while, I started to notice water seeping in from the back doors. They had a large house with like 3 double doors to the back, so it was a buttload of square feet. I got every towel in the house and started wiping up the water and using the towels to block the door. After this had mostly been cleaned up, I went back to the kitchen table to watch more Netflix. Nothing else much to do, right? But I couldn't have been any more than like 15 minutes later when the power cuts out and all the lights shut off. This freaked me out a bit, but I tried to stay as calm as best I could. And that's when the burglar alarm went off in the other room. I pretty much soiled my pants. I was in the pitch black house with 2 young kids, surrounded by flooded roads that no one could drive on. After a minute or so of almost blind panic, I realized to my horror I was the closest thing in the house to an adult. There was no one looking after me, in fact. I was directly responsible for these 2 kids. So I grabbed the biggest, sharpest kitchen knife I could find, and went to go check all the doors. They were all still closed and no one was in the house, so I called the parents. It turns out the alarm went off when the power cuts out, and I just needed to shut it off with a code upstairs. This happened about 3 more times over the next few hours. After the power came back on, I thought things had chilled out, but then when we got a tornado warning, I went and got the kids from upstairs and we all hung out in the study for about an hour until the warning passed. At this point, it was about 2 a.m. and I passed out in the guest bedroom. The parents wake me up when they got home at around 7 a.m. and I drove home Oh shit. Oh shit. Booty clap. Clap that booty. Shit. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Mediocre Bit with $50 donation says, oh my god, I was watching When a Stranger Calls, 1979, downstairs, and during the revelation scene, my father snuck down and jumped out from behind the couch to grab my shoulder. That's amazing. That's, honestly, I feel like that's like peak dad moves right there, and I don't know, I love, a dad and daughter relationship is such a good thing. I guess this isn't the time to get like sappy or anything like that. And I know someone will probably turn this into a sexual thing, but no, I don't know. It makes me happy when I see dads and like a dad being jokey with a daughter, because it just means that things are good. Things are good in the world. I remember my like pastor growing up, his like favorite, like his all-time favorite thing he always talked about that he loved doing was just scaring his kids. Not like in the actual terrifying way, but just like jumping out and scaring them and stuff. It was just like something he did all the time, which was pretty funny. But thank you, Mediocre Bit, for the generous $50 donation. I really appreciate that. And I hope you're having a good night with Faja. The parents woke me up when they got home at around 7 a.m., and I drove home past giant fallen branches and stalled abandoned cars. It was surreal, but thank God everyone was safe and well in the end. I feel like some of these stories honestly haven't like hit, like they've been like just like kind of like abstractly scary, you know what I mean? Like where they're like not like the overt scariness that you guys I guess are used to, but they've been like sort of like kind of abnormal. Father Nature strucketh. Third shift, this is perfect. Hell yeah, Don, welcome. I heard a pastor said some of us have been hit with the ugly stick. Be humble, and that will instantly make you a more attractive person. Yeah, I believe so. Honestly, you really can't make up for a good personality and a good sense of humor, smart brain, someone that's well learned, a person of culture, I would say. It is kind of interesting, like, I don't know if any super attractive people in here, but like I just always hear like when you're attractive when you're young, it doesn't always put you at a disadvantage, but I feel like in life we're always kind of learning how do we manipulate our world around us, and like if someone's attractiveness is able to manipulate that, you might not develop like other skills. I don't know, to whether that's like, comedic personality or a certain level of like certain skills and intelligence and stuff like that. And that's not to say that's always that, because I've met a lot of like super attractive people that are also super funny, and then I'm just like, God, you son of a bitch. Just kidding. But like, you know, just the tippity top tier. Ugly with daddy issues. I guess that's okay. Your package came, Deadbug. Nice. What'd you get? Bridget Jones with a 5 says the 5 people who disliked the stream were hit by an ugly stick. I would say so. They didn't have the personality for it. You're going to tag a attractive person at Let's Read. Thank you, Fry. Fry, you need to do a face reveal on the Discord. We're going to pressure you. Pressure him. Pressure him. Pressure him. Pressure him. When you're attractive as fuck, it inflates your ego way too much. Yeah, we were talking about that in Discord last night. Like, somebody was saying just, you know, they were talking about just different things, and they were saying about how, like, you know, being attractive, you just get, like, you get away with a lot of shit. Whether it's, like, a terrible, you know, whiny personality about something where people, like, don't want to tell you to shut the fuck up or something. Or, like, the one story in our Discord, they were talking about, like, a teacher who was kind of, like, young and attractive and was like excessively flirtatious with the girls in the high school girls or whatever, and like they would even like buy gifts for the kid, you know, the students and stuff, and like, and then do things like take them out for like the attractive ones, like take the attractive ones out for like lunches and weird shit, you know what I mean, that like she had believed that he gotten away with to a degree because people were kind of like enamored by his charm, you know. And that, to me, I guess, is like sort of an indicator of someone that's, you know, could be very predatorial for sure, you know. I'm not saying all attractive people are predators or anything. But they could be if they wanted to. You have a raccoon body, tiny baby hands, and big feet. Like a long tail. And like bruised eyes. I like raccoons. They always steal stuff and wash it in water for no reason. Being attractive, being rich, good. Be poor and ugly. That's the only way to get the best life. First and last time I babysat, back when I was 16 in the early 80s. I'd just gotten a driver's license and needed gas and insurance money for the old beat-up car I'd bought. I was watching two boys, about 6 and 10, while parents went out to celebrate some anniversary or something. They had promised to be home at 11. At the time, cell phones were pretty rare. They were pretty rare. Trash pandas, yeah. At the time, cell phones were pretty rare, so no way to contact them other than calling the restaurant. Evening was going great until about 9:30 when their large, aggressive Doberman goes crazy running around the house barking and growling before running into the basement, refusing to come up. Sort of freaks me out a bit because this dog is huge, aggressive, and very protective of the house and kids. I do a quick check of the house and kids and everyone was okay. I let the dog stay in the basement, put kids to bed at around 10 as instructed by the parents. Job done. So I'm watching TV at around 10:30 when, suddenly, I begin to smell something burning. Running into the youngest boy's room and find the oldest boy in bed with him. Both are asleep, so I wake them both and tell them that we need to get the dog and go outside. But the dog just straight up refuses to leave the basement. And I had to prioritize. So I get the kids outside and tell them to sit in the front yard while I go in to call the fire department. Not showing good judgment here, but I was 16. Oldest says, I left a candle burning under my bed. As I go back... Oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell, kid? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like, it's like almost like to a degree, it almost helps some people to be like less attractive when they're younger because they can develop certain like personality skills, and then you get your glow up. And then you get your glow up, and all of a sudden everybody, you know, back then, hoes didn't want me. Nowadays, hoes all on me, as the old saying goes. For Mr. Who Mike Jones, who Mike Jones. I actually want to look up those lyrics. Who Mike Jones? Remember that fucking song? Holy shit. That was the greatest. That shit was very popular. What the fuck? Mike's song? Oh, I'm an idiot. Who Mike Jones lyric? Ramirez. Wait, oh, who is Mike Jones? No, dude. I want a Mike Jones song. Oh, there it is. Back. Good God. Can't they just read my mind? Okay, yeah. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now hot, hoes all on me. Hell yeah, dude. That's tweetable. Let me put that in the chat so everybody remembers it. It should be included in the Bible, perhaps, as sort of like a hymn. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now hot, hoes all on me. And hoes can include anybody. They don't have to specifically be females. You have a Mike Jones t-shirt. That's amazing. Tipping on fofos. Rapping on fofos. Tipping on fofos. Dude, those were the shit. You got it tattooed. Mike Jones is in a nursing home now? Oh my God. What happened? He was actually 60 years old when he got popular, when the hoes finally wanted him. You're trying to share the Discord link and it won't let me? Yeah. It doesn't really let you share links on... Unless a mod was in here, a mod could share it, but I don't know if any mods are here right now. So I'll share it at the end of the stream, no big deal. Them hoes in 3rd grade. Church lady playing the organ in the background. Tipping on 4/4s. Tipping on 4/4s. Oldest says, I left a candle burning under my bed. As I go back in. Yup, a candle under their bed, since apparently monsters couldn't live anywhere where there's light. I know. Dumb kids. As I open the door to go back in, there's this huge explosion behind me across the street and power goes out. The kids start screaming and follow me back into the house. I grab the phone, but there's no dial tone. I get the kids out of the house again, onto the back porch this time, and make it really clear that they're to stay there. But I can still hear the dog whimpering in the basement. I run to the oldest kid's bedroom with the fire extinguisher and flashlight from the kitchen and look under the bed through hazy smoke. The offendal.
Full-grown
Cassandra has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the Buttersock cult. Thank you, Cassandra. Welcome. You would share if you were a mod. Ooh. We're going to have mod wars. I have 6 members and only 5 mod tickets in my hand. Bradley, no sharing of phone numbers, silly goose. Silly goose. No phone numbering in the chat. It's purely banished. Oh yeah, we got 2 Cassandra, 2 green Cassandras. How will I tell them apart? The offending candle has gone out, but has burnt a hole in the box spring, which also has gone out. I flip the box spring and blast it with the extinguisher just in case. I then run to the front porch to see the transformer on a telephone pole had exploded. A lightning pole... What? Jesus Christ, how do you speak English in this story? I then run to the front porch to see transformer on telephone pole has exploded. Lightning pole on fire and taking out phone and electricity service for street. What the fuck? Does that sound like English? You've been voted off the island. I then run to the front porch to see that the transformer on the telephone pole had exploded. Lightning pole on fire. What? Lighting the pole on fire and taking out the phone and electricity service for the street. I run and check on the box springs, which are still out. I open the bedroom windows to air out the room, then get the kids off the back porch into the living room onto the couch, where they both are just crying their eyes out. The oldest was apologizing for the fire, but insisted that if he didn't keep the candle lit, then, of course, monsters would get him. Fire department shows up for the transformer at around 11. Kids fall asleep on the couch at around midnight after watching the firemen across the street put out the transformer fire. And the power comes back on at about 1:30 a.m. And the parents show up at 2:30 a.m., as they were supposed to be back by 11. Somewhat buzzed and start complaining that kids are not... They were somewhat buzzed and started complaining that the kids aren't in bed, and the oldest room is trashed with flipped over mattress, and there are dry fire extinguisher powder. Dude, I don't know why this person wrote this story as if they were like, I'm filling in like many syllables and words that I don't know why they wrote it as if though it was like a grocery list. Parents show up at 2:30 a.m. Somewhat buzzed. Start complaining that kids are not in bed. Oldest room is trashed with flipped over mattress and dry fire extinguisher power covering box springs. I don't know why. It just sounds really awkward the whole time through. Okay, anyways. The parents show up at 2:30. 2:30. Fuck. Okay. I'm going to get it this time. Addison, you just joined the Discord? I have a mustache. Technically, if you have a beard, you always have a mustache. But not currently. I did at one point, and that was probably my peak self. The parents show up at 2:30 a.m. when they were supposed to be back by 11. They're somewhat buzzed and start complaining that the kids are not in bed and the oldest room is trashed with a flipped-over mattress and dry fire extinguisher powder covering the box springs. And to add insult to injury, they straight up refuse to pay me. The situation gets really tense, and would you believe it? The Doberman picks this time to come out of the basement and starts aggressively growling at me. Walked out with $1 to my name, and I never babysat again. Peaky boy. They got lazy while typing. Yeah, I feel like they almost like spoke it into like a voice transmitter or some shit. The voice transmitter. Well, your name is Jack Mehoff. Well, I knew a man named Jack Mehoff. He was a pervert. Everyone's fave e-boy checking in. Alright, well this is story Tizen. So I hope y'all are having a fantastic evening thus far and have enjoyed the stories. BB-sit. I'm gonna have to like shorten the title. It's true scary BB-sitting stories. BB-sit stories. Let's hide under the covers. Ladies, come with me. No time to explain. Quickly. We must get under the covers. The monsters are coming. Your name is Wilma Fingerdew. Wilma Fingerdew? Hi, Let's Read. I'm a huge fan and I've always wanted to be able to send in a true scary story of my own, but I've never really had anything actually scary ever happen to me. Awkward moments, sure. People being outright mean, that too. But never anything legit scary. But all that changed just a few weeks ago before lockdown when I was asked to babysit a neighbor's kid while they went to a party relating to one of their jobs. I'd never, ever babysit for anyone before, so admittedly I was pretty nervous. But if I'd have known what kind of night I had in store for me, I'd have turned the job down in a second. It was made all the worse by the fact that my parents pretty much assured me that it would be an easy $50, and the night would be over before I knew it. I had a bad feeling about the whole thing from the start, but my dad actually managed to talk me out of that headspace. Now I wish I just trusted my gut and stayed well away. So I wandered over to the house at around 7 in the evening, introducing myself to the parents and the kid before they go over a few ground rules. At first it seemed like my dad was right, that I was just being silly and that if I played my cards right, I could turn this into a regular earner to fund my weekend shopping habits. The parents were lovely, and so was the kids, so I got pretty chill pretty quickly and ended up sort of enjoying myself, entertaining the kid after they left with the help of Disney Plus, which I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a huge fan of. Anyway, everything is going well until it comes time to put the kid to bed. Then things start getting a little awkward. The kid straight up refuses, and our new happy little friendship starts to quickly deteriorate. I felt super mean having to lay down with the... Super mean? What the fuck? Why mean? I felt super mean having to lie down with... lay down the law. Oh, okay, I thought he, laid in bed with him. Alright, jeez, alright. I felt super mean having to lay down the law with the kid, and he went from crying and wailing to shouting and screaming at me like I wasn't his... Okay, Jesus Christ. Make her sure to keep the toesies under the covers, ladies, or the monsters shall suck on them. Room over here. It's true. I felt super mean having to lay down the law with the kid, and he went from crying and wailing to shouting and screaming at me that I wasn't his mom. He hated me and I didn't belong there. Stuff like that. I actually kind of hurt, and I started to realize that maybe I wasn't ready for that kind of responsibility yet. To be a parent or a guardian, you need to be tough enough to be able to kind of be the bad guy, if that makes any sense. And if there are any of you out there that are looking to get into babysitting, thinking it'll be an easy few bucks, please reconsider. I've done way, way easier things for money before and since than... Hey, Sam, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Just in time for the last story. The devil is here screaming, Jesus Christ. I've done way, way easier things for money before and since. Things that don't make you feel terrible for having to... God damn it, why the fuck can't I read that? I've done way, way easier things for money before and since. Things that don't make you feel terrible for having to have shouted at a kid. But after a while, the whole temper tantrum seems to have tired the kid out, and even though he still seemed upset with me, he went up to his room, got into his pajamas, climbed into bed to sleep. He asked me to read him a story, and since he'd actually done as he's told, I obliged. And when his eyes finally closed over and his breathing slowed, I snuck out of the room and downstairs to leave him get some rest. So about an hour or so later, I was sitting on the couch texting a friend of mine, telling them how babysitting was way harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm working through the leftover chicken pot pie that my mom had given me to take over there, catching up on some episodes of The Mandalorian when the family house phone starts to ring. Thinking it was the parents looking to check up on me, I pick up, greeting the caller with the cheeriest voice I could manage. Only, no one on the other end responds. I say, "Hello?" a few more times, assuming it's a butt dial or a bad line, and hang up, heading back to finish off my pie. No sooner am I sat down again, the phone rings again. I was kind of expecting it, I suppose. Maybe the parents had gone through a tunnel or something. I don't know, but either way, I get up again, head over to the phone and pick it up. Only this time when I do, I can hear breathing on the other end of the line. I give another cheery hello, but there's just the same breathing coming from the other end. When the person finally speaks, it's a super deep voice, obviously a guy, telling me to check on the sleeping kid. I thought it might have been the kid's dad, but there was also something really weird and distorted about the voice, too. I responded "Okay, I'll go check." And the line goes dead immediately.
Hey, listen.
The kid is fine, sleeping like a rock, so much as I kinda was... Well, fuck, sorry. Elisa with a 5 says, "When I was a kid, my mom and I were home alone. We could hear someone outside. She said it was a man, but when we both looked outside, we saw a skeleton." A skeleton? Was it like a paranormal experience or some shit? Spooky dooky skeleton. Is this the Scream script? Probably, yeah. I'm in the house. I'm in the house. I forget what the Scream guy's voice sounds like. The kid is fine, sleeping like a rock. So much as I'm kinda creeped out by the weird voice, I figured it must have been the dad. Maybe the parents had argued, I don't know. I try not to think about so much about... Fucking hell. Wolf, with a 5, says, bravo, bravo, thank you, Wolf. Awoo! 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 Can you guys give me a nice howl? Can you guys howl in the chat, please? Can you guys howl loud enough to, like, wake up your parents and your family and your friends? And the whole fucking neighborhood. Awoo! A fucking woo! Ah woo! Ah woo! I'm a wolf! Ah woo! 41, oh lord, 40 mistakes. Immortal, I feel like you have it like copy pasted every time, just saying boo, fucking boo. Ah woo, bitch. Ooh woo. Baka. The kid is fine, sleeping like a rock, so much as I'm kind of creeped out by the weird voice. I figured it must have been the dad. Maybe the parents had argued, I don't know. I try not to think so much about it. But then pretty much as soon as I'm back downstairs, the phone rings again. No caller ID, no nothing. So I answer, unable to prevent this fear from entering my voice. Big mistake. Whoever is calling senses this and starts to, like, giggle down the phone line at that same weirdly God damn it, what the fuck? Am I simping? A bit. Ron with the 5 says, my favorite headline that I've seen is local wolf goes awoo. I forget, yeah, oh yeah, like, there was a funny, like, a cute, wholesome meme where it was like a big, it wasn't like a husky, but it was like a big white fluffy dog, and it says, like, local cloud says awoo. I don't know why, I still think back to that one meme where it's like a super, super small puppy dog, like the size of your hand, and someone, like, brings up, like, it puts a microphone to it, like they're doing an interview, and it says, so basically, I am very small. Yeah, so basically, I'm very small. I am very small. Jedi Sundown with a 5. Thank you, Jedi Sundown. Dude, I heard that there was a new Star Wars game coming out that was like Rogue Squadron or something like that, which is pretty dope. What do I find more scarier, paranormal stories or real life scenarios? I would say a real life scenario would be like, it would be obviously more terrifying, like, objectively, but something about a paranormal shit, like, freaks me out, because it's just, like, you can't do shit about it, you know? So basically, I am very small. Oh, wowzers, you got me there, dude. Fuck, what am I doing? Big mistake. Whoever is calling senses this and starts to, like, giggle down the phone line in that same weirdly distorted voice. What they said next made my blood turn to ice. Gonna snatch him up. Gonna snatch up the kitty when you're not looking. Gonna get him. I went silent. Totally silent out of fear. And that's when I heard a creak in the floorboards above me. Someone was moving around in the room upstairs. I pretty much dropped the phone and bowled upstairs into the kid's room to find that he's still asleep. Or rather that he very much appears to be asleep. But that same deep, slow breathing isn't there.
Hey, listen.
The more I look, the more like he seems... Bridget Jones with the 5 says, hi, what if we kissed in SCP-173's containment chamber? Oh my god. Yeah, thank you for the 5. What is in that containment chamber? You know, I kind of have to look it up. SCP-173. Does anybody have any updates? Oh my god. That creepy guy. Now I remember it. He actually has a whole video game about him. Item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. Description: Moved to Site 19, 1993. Origin is as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is inanimate and... Wait, is animate. Is animate. What the fuck is animate? Sorry, it kind of ruined the immersion there.
Animate.
Is animate? SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The object cannot move while within a direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel assigned to entering the container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be retorted. This is... Oh, I'm recording. Why the fuck am I recording? Oh, God. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. Origin of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. Oh, alright. That would be creepy, getting your neck snapped. Getting your neck snapped. Also, I think I just, like, instinctively was recording, which is funny. It's like as soon as I start... Animate is having life. So, like, you can describe someone in, like, an adjective form, saying he's very animate. He's very animate. Is that how you pronounce it? Or animate? Because there's inanimate. Like, an inanimate object. Do you pronounce it kind of like you would that? Like, animate? Because the website did not. Fishes and blood. Can you say ravioli? Ravioli. I pretty much dropped the phone and bolt upstairs and into the kid's room to find that he's still asleep. Or rather that he very much appears to be asleep. But that same deep, slow breathing isn't there. The more I look, the more it seems like he's almost holding his breath or something. Not only that, but his arm is at this weird angle that makes it look like he's holding on to something under his pillow, something he's trying to hide. In a fury, I pull the pillow up slightly, then I realize what's been happening. Whoever thought it was a good idea to buy an 8-year-old kid a phone is straight up crazy. But under that pillow wasn't just a phone. There was a voice distorter under there too. I grab both and run out of the room, back downstairs where the kid starts throwing another temper tantrum. I felt so dumb, completely played by the kid, made to feel terrible and vulnerable. How could someone be so young, yet so malicious and mean-spirited? The parents arrived back shortly afterwards, and I didn't mention a word of what happened until they paid me in full. Then I read them the riot act. I was never going to babysit for them, and they were completely irresponsible letting their kid have the things like a phone, let alone an actual voice distorter. Turns out the creepy little gadget was their older, college-age kids. Turns out the creepy little gadget was their older college-age kids, and that the little guy was fascinated with it and wouldn't give it back to him. But I didn't care. I wasn't about to put myself out there like that. Ever. Again. Some of these stories were good, you know what I mean? But a lot of them were just, like, kind of, like, anticlimactic, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know, I was kind of, like, almost at that point hoping for, like, a typical, like, I'm gonna fucking sneak into your house and stab you type guy, you know, because just creepier. Like, whenever it kind of ends where he's like, oh, it was the kid, I'm just like, oh, Squidward, oh, SpongeBob, SpongeBooby. Well, guys, I am going to read the outro. If you, in the meantime, would like to assist me. Oh, also, Ricardo Medina with the 2. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you for the 2. One of my favorite stories to read. I really like paranormal, but like they kind of like hurt the channel because they don't do very well. So like, I'm gonna do them, I think, when I do them with like Slapped Ham. And I think I might just like ask if he just, like, I'll do a story, then he does one, and then I just do the rest. Just so you guys get like a vibe for Slap Ham and decide if you want to go over to his channel. But like, maybe I'll try to like convince him that maybe we could do some sort of like opening to it that's like more visual or something to kind of give a vibe of like his like techniques and content, I suppose. And remember to never remember. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r Let's Read Official, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join my Discord to interact with me and other listeners directly. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends, and remember to forget to remember. Venus Flytrap with the 2 says, thanks for the stories tonight. You're welcome, Venus. Thank you, and happy birthday to you, as well as Bridget Jones's birthday is Strickeneth at midnight. Any other birthdays in here that we missed? Shit. Never shake the baby. Yeah, that would be. Shake the baby. Don't shake the baby. I would like a Let's Read Wendigo story set. Wendigo, not Skinwalker or Ghost Stories, just the Wendigo. Is there any difference between Wendigo and the Skinwalker? I forgot what and remember. That would be good, yeah. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, I kind of forgot what I was supposed to remember. Boom shaka laka 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 laka. Boom shaka laka 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 laka. Well, guys, yes, thank you again for another amazing stream. I'm very happy we've kind of found a rhythm when it comes to these streams to be able to do them more frequently. I'm glad that we have built quite the community here, which is amazing, and I really appreciate you guys being part of it. Bridget is enjoying some girthy bananas, it seems like, which is great. Very good birthday gift. And yeah, I love you guys. Really appreciate everything. Just so you know, that as always, new videos come out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so they'll be out tonight at 7 p.m. on the Eastern Standard Time is where I'm at. And then new streams, as always, will be Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, so the nights before videos come out. And at some, I'm not very good with my stream times. It's like anywhere between like 7 to like fucking midnight sometimes, but keep an eye out. I will alert you about it on social media, so be sure to follow me at Let's Read Creepy on Twitter, at Let's Read.official on Instagram. Follow the meme page as well, Horny Computer. Going to edit this audio, get it out first on Patreon. If you guys like the idea of a $5 increment in addition to the $1 increment, where it's like $1 for early access and then $5 for both that and an extra extra creepypasta, and then a $15 increment where it's a little bit more intimate, if you get my drift with some schmutty schmut. Let me know, message me, tweet me, say right here, I don't even care, just let me know. But either way, it will be out early on Patreon. Get to editing that for your downloading pleasure, and go join the Discord, which reminds me, maybe I should, since I don't know if any mods are here right now, maybe I should just link that for you guys right the fuck now. Let me as soon as Discord loads up here. Okay. Invite people. Copy. It is copied. Alright, I'm gonna spam this in the chat. I know spamming is... Oops. I know you guys don't like spam. Neither do I. I only like it with cheese. And when I'm in the army. But, yeah, join if you guys want to see my face or interact with some other beautiful people. Once again, thank you so much for the support. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for being here and all the love and all the positivity to you. Have a good night, and I will see you again oh so soon. The music will sound less choppy in a second, but I like this song.